Okay, so we're going to be working on quiz number 4 in order to prepare you for exam number 4. So this first problem tells us that a storm blew down many trees. Several neighbors rented a chainsaw for $581.60. So they rented this chainsaw. It was $581.60. And it says the company charges $7.95 per day. So we're going to set this equal to $7.95. X is going to represent the days, because if it's 1 day, it's just $7.95 times 1. If it's 2 days, it's $7.95 times 2. If it's 3 days, $7.95 times 3, and so forth. Next part says plus $14. So now we want to get X by itself. We subtract 14 to both sides. That will cancel if we do 581.60 minus 14. It's going to give us a solution of 567.60 equal to 70.95x. Now let's just get x by itself. We divide both sides by 70.95. Divide both sides by 70.95 because we'll see that x will cancel. And then we divide 567.60 by 70.95, we get a solution of 8. Okay, and we're going to want to make sure we want a whole number, because we're talking about days and they're just saying a whole number. They don't say round to the 10th, 100th, 1000th. So make sure when you work this problem, you get a nice whole number. Next problem, which equality represents the proportion $8 is to 13 cans, $16 is to 26 cans. So we want to make sure we have 8 and 13 on one fraction and 16 to 26 on another fraction. So 8 to 13 is going to be on one fraction. So it can't be that one, can't be that one, possibly D. But now we want 16 to 26. If dollars is on the top for this first one, dollars must be on the top for the second one. So we see it can't be this one because this has dollars on the top and dollars on the bottom. Dollars on the top, dollars on the bottom, cans on the bottom, or dollars top, cans bottom, cans bottom. 18 to 13, 16 to 26. So this here is our answer. Next one, we're going to be doing a proportion here. It says 7 out of 10 people entering community college take a refresher in math. So 7 out of 10 take a refresher in math. Now it says if there's 100 students, how many will need a refresher? So out of 100, how many will need a refresher? Remember here we could just cross multiply, right? On that we get 7 times 100 equals, and right there we get 10 times x. Well, we do the work, we get 700 equals 10x. Now we just divide both sides by 10 to get x by itself, and we should get a solution of 7D. So on this one we'll just be doing cross multiplication. Alright, this tells us to write the ratio in lowest terms first. So first let's write in lowest terms. Remember, we see some zeros at the end, so we could just cancel those out, right? Start off with 20 over 25 equals 27 over 33. Or we could prime factorize. We could prime factorize 20 to be 2 times 2 times 5. Prime factorize 25 to be 5 times 5. We could break up 27 to be 3 times 3 times 3. And 33 to be 3 times 11. Once again, we just start canceling. 5 on top, 5 on bottom. 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. This over here gives us a solution of 4 over 5. This over here gives us a solution of 9 over 11. So that would be our answer for this first part. 4 over 5 and 9 over 11. So remember, second, to find out if it's true or false, what we could do is we could just go ahead and have our original problem. And you have two options. If they're not the same, you know it's false. But the other way of doing it is by cross multiplying. And seeing if one side, you see here we get 200 times 330 equals, and over there we get 250 times 270. So let's just see if they equal. 330 times 200 gives us a solution of 66,000. 250 times 270 gives a solution of 67,500. Therefore, we know this is going to be false since they don't equal. Next problem. So remember, to find the best buy, the first thing we're going to do is just divide all of these. Okay? So we're going to do, remember the cost goes on top. $2.99 divided by 16 ounces. $6.29 divided by 28 ounces. And $6.09 divided by 30 ounces. So now we want to see which one gives us a smaller decimal. $2.99 divided by 16 gives us 0.18685. $6.29 divided by 28 gives us 0.22464, and it just keeps going, and we don't need to go that far. Now we do $6.09 divided by 30, which gives us a solution of 0.203. So remember, in order to find the smallest, we just compare numbers. These first ones are all 0, so we go to the next one. This is a 1, that's a 2, and that's a 2. Well, because this is a 1, that's a smaller one, which means this will be my smallest one, which was 16 ounces. The solution in there would be just 16. Alright, the next problem. Solve for t. T over 25 equals 10 over 50. Once again, we're just going to cross multiply. 50 and t cross that line. 25 times 10 cross this other line. So we get 50t to equal 250. And to get t by itself, we know we just divide by 50. And when we divide 250 divided by 50, it's going to give us a nice solution of 5. So they want us to find the length of the third side. Remember, what I told you here is to look for your legs and the hypotenuse. Here, they're giving us this right triangle, so we know this is a leg. We know that's a leg, so we're going to be looking for the hypotenuse. Remember, an equation you must remember, okay? The hypotenuse equals the square root of one of your legs squared plus the other leg squared. So now it's just plugging everything in. 12 squared plus 16 squared. Remember, it doesn't matter which one you put first because they're both the legs. Keep in mind, if they were hypotenuse, it would make a difference. So it's just leg squared plus leg squared. We square root each one of these. 12, or we do the square of each one. 12 times 12 is 144. 16 squared is 256. And now let's add these together. Gives us an answer of 400. And now we could go ahead and take the square root of 400, which should give us a nice solution of 20 here. So it's important that you remember your equations when you're doing these problems, okay? Remember, the hypotenuse equals a leg equals the square root of a leg squared plus a leg squared. And just break it up, take it step by step. Don't try to rush it, because you see this could be a nice easy problem as long as you're just taking your time with it. Alright, this next one, a lot of numbers here. At 3 p.m., Coretta's shadow is 1.3 meters long, and her height is 1.62 meters. At the same time, the tree shadow is 6.9 meters long. How tall is the tree? That's what we're going to be looking for. So here, what we don't have to worry about is time. Okay, we could ignore the time part. So we're talking about Coretta. Now we're talking about the tree. It says her shadow is 1.3 meters long and her height is 1.62. So on the top we're going to have shadow, and on the bottom we're going to have height. Okay, so remember, if it's shadow on the top for Coretta, it's also going to be shadow on the top for tree. Well, what does it tell us here? The tree shadow was 6.9. So now we know the height will go on the bottom, or x. So it looks like we're going to be cross multiplying. One side we get 1.39x, and on the other side we're going to get 1.62 times 6.9. So let's multiply 1.62 times 6.9. That gives us a solution of 11.178. And over here we still get 1.39x. So now we're just going to divide to get x by itself. Both sides by 1.39. And when we do that, we get a solution of 8.04172, and it just keeps going. Here they want us to round to the hundredths, so our answer must have a hundredths. So this 4 is my hundredths, right? Remember, I look at the next number, because that's a 1. My 4 will stay as is, so my solution will be 8.04. Remember, it says hundredths, so your answer must have a hundredths in it. So let's not forget that, okay? Another problem here. Here, once again, they give us this nice symbol telling us that this is a right angle, so we know that this will be the leg, that will be the leg. Once again, we're looking for the hypotenuse, just like before. So, it's important that you know your equation, right? Hypotenuse equals the leg squared plus the leg squared. We can just plug this stuff in. 11 squared plus 8 squared. Well, 11 times 11 gives us a solution of 121. 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. We sum these and we get what? 185. And once we do the square root of 185, that gives us a solution of 13.6014705. They want us to round to the tenths, so we locate our tenths. Because the next number is a 0, our 6 will stay as is, so we'll get a solution of 13.6. Keep keep in mind, like I said before, if here it says round to the tenths, our answer must be in the tenths. Also, let's remember our equation once again. This one tells us that a 14-foot ladder is leaning against a building. So let's look at this. Let's imagine this is a building here, okay? We have this ladder. This ladder is 14 feet. It's leaning against a building. What does it say next? With the base of the ladder 3 feet from the building. This is the base. So from here to there, it's 3 feet. How high up is it? They want that. So we can make ourselves, we could tell from there that we have a nice triangle now. We have 14, we have 3, and we have x. So make sure we know what these are. This here is a hypotenuse, that's a leg, and that's a leg. So this time we're looking for a leg. So we use our equation of what a leg is. Different from the previous examples, leg is your hypotenuse squared minus the leg squared. Make sure you understand that this one is a subtraction sign. They will not always be addition, okay? So we have 14 squared minus 3 squared. So we do 14 times 14 gives us a solution of 196. 3 squared is just 9. 3 times 3, right? 196 minus 9 gives us a solution of 187. And now we're just going to take the square root of 187. Should give us a solution of 13.674779. But they want our answer in the tenths. We locate the tenths, okay? Because the following number is a 7, that 6 will go up. So our solution would be 13.7.